Here's the English translation of your script, keeping the original meaning, tone, and natural flow intact, tailored for English speakers. Have you ever thought that one day your body might send out a warning signal that you completely miss? Picture this. A man walks into a clinic, polished and confident, but carrying a secret struggle. He's dealing with erectile dysfunction. He figures a quick fix like a Viagra pill or a testosterone shot will sort it out. But here's the reality. This isn't some minor issue to patch up fast. It's an alarm bell ringing about a disaster that's been quietly growing inside him for over 15 years, unnoticed by anyone, not even himself.
Put yourself in his shoes for a moment. Do you think exercising more, shedding a few pounds, taking some vitamin D, or sleeping better would be enough to turn things around? Sure, those might help a bit, but it's like tossing a cup of water onto a forest fire. It won't make a dent. So where's the real problem hiding? How does a small part like down there become a mirror reflecting your entire body's health? And more importantly, if you were in his spot, what would you do to escape the shadow of this looming catastrophe? Today, we're diving deep into this story. Not just to figure out what's happening, but to uncover how to change it, not with short-term fixes, but with practical, long-lasting solutions you can start using in your life right now. Are you ready? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is the root cause of this issue? Don't hold back. Your answer might help you or someone else.
Understanding the problem. When down there sounds the alarm. So what's really going on with this guy? He walks into the clinic, hoping a magic pill will bring back his mojo. But the truth behind erectile dysfunction isn't just about low hormones or getting older. It's a sign of something much bigger. The blood flow to down there has dropped drastically. How bad is it? Bad enough that it can't get firm enough to do its job. Bluntly put, it's floppy. A casual way to say it, but spot on. Imagine blood as water running through a pipe. If the pipe's clear, water rushes through, and everything works smoothly. But if it's clogged, the flow trickles or stops entirely. In your body, those pipes are your arteries, the highways delivering blood everywhere, including down there. When arteries aren't healthy, blood can't reach where it's needed with enough force. The result? You guessed it, things go sluggish. But why do arteries end up like this? And how do we catch it before it's too late?
It didn't happen out of nowhere. It started with tiny changes in his body that he, and maybe you, never noticed. Over 15 years ago, something called a fatty streak quietly formed in his artery walls. Sounds odd, right? What's a fatty streak? It's like the first layer of gunk in a pipe. Small, no symptoms, no pain, no itch. You'd only spot it by slicing an artery and looking under a microscope, something nobody does without a good reason. But don't think it's harmless. This gunk is the first domino in a chain reaction. Why does it matter? Because if ignored, it thickens, piles up cholesterol, and sparks bigger problems, not just for down there, but for your heart and brain too.
So how do you know if this is happening in you? Relax, we don't need to cut anything open. A simple clue is checking your blood cholesterol. For this guy, if I'd tested him years back, I'd have seen sky-high levels. But high cholesterol isn't just a number. It shows that cholesterol's hang time in your blood, what I call residency time, is way too long. Normally, cholesterol's like a delivery truck. It drops fuel from the liver to your tissues, then heads back. But for him, the truck got stuck in traffic, couldn't return, and dumped extra fuel right in his arteries. Can you guess what happens next? Think about it. If you were him, what would you do knowing your body's piling up junk? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Now, let's dig deeper into this man's story to see how a tiny fatty streak turned into a major threat to his whole body. After that first layer of gunk showed up in his arteries, it didn't just sit there. It's like a small crack in a wall. If you don't fix it, it spreads and brings the house down. For him, years later, that fatty streak thickened, loaded with excess cholesterol his liver couldn't handle. But his body didn't just watch the trash pile up. It called in the cleanup crew, white and red blood cells, to tackle it. Sounds promising, right? But here's the catch. Imagine trying to clear a mess at home, but instead of trashing it, you make it worse and leave bits scattered everywhere. That's what happened in his arteries. These cells stormed the fatty streak, trying to break down the cholesterol, but they left behind a wreck. Tiny debris his body couldn't fully sweep away. What's the fallout? The arteries started to inflame, like a red swollen bump on your skin, but you can't feel it because it's deep inside. Why is that a big deal? Because inflammation doesn't just weaken the artery, it sets up the next step, calcium buildup. Yup, that debris hardened into calcium, like cement sticking to the artery walls. If I x-rayed his arteries now, I'd see little white specks, clear proof trouble's brewing.
Here's the scary part. This had been going on for at least 5 years, and he had no clue. He was living, working, laughing, with zero suspicion his body was silently gearing up for a blowout. His artery walls, once smooth, were now rough, scarred, and clogged, thicker than ever. Blood still flowed enough to scrape by, but it was nearing the breaking point. Ever wonder, could your body be quietly stacking up fatty streaks like this too? How do you find out before it's game over? It's not rocket science to check. If your blood test shows high cholesterol, rising blood pressure, or a waistline creeping past healthy, those are red flags. But don't just know it, act on it. For instance, tweak your eating habits. Cut back on fried stuff, load up on greens and fruit. Why bother? Because what you eat directly affects how clean your arteries stay. How do you do it? Easy, swap that greasy lunch for a salmon salad, tasty and blood-friendly. Your body will thank you from day one. What do you think of this small switch? Is it tough to fit into your life? Drop your take in the comments. I'm curious where you'd start.
By now, we've seen this guy's issue isn't just about down there losing steam. It's a chain of dangers building in his arteries for over a decade. Let's hit the climax, when everything in his body was ready to blow. After years of cholesterol, inflammation, and calcium buildup, his arteries weren't clear highways anymore. They were like overinflated balloons, waiting for a nudge to burst. And burst they did. Not the way you'd hope when we're talking down there. Picture this. Inside his artery, that inflamed mess was like a pimple, packed with cholesterol, dead cells, and junk. Peek through a camera, and you'd see a white dot in a red swollen patch, just like a pimple on your face. But unlike a skin zit, when this one pops, it's not just annoying, it's a disaster. Why? Because when it ruptures, it dumps all that gunk into the bloodstream. Blood hates this. It's like spilling oil into a clean river, instant chaos. The body fights back, sending platelets and clotting agents to plug the hole. The result? Blood flow slows, then stops cold.
When blood halts, everything downstream starves for oxygen. For down there, that means not enough juice to get firm, the reason he came begging for help. But don't think it ends there. If this artery were in his heart, we'd call it a heart attack. In his brain? In down there? It often starts with a few hours of dull pain he might grit through silently, too shy to mention. Even if some blood trickles back, it's a weak stream, not the roaring river it once was. Ever think a little ache like that could hint at a bigger disaster? So how do you stop this blowout in your own body? First, realize testosterone or Viagra aren't the long-haul fix. They might patch things up for a bit, but they don't touch the root. The root's in your artery health, and that ties to how you live daily. Why care? Because without action, you're not just losing steam, you're risking heart trouble or a stroke. How do you shift gears? Start small. Swap soda for water, walk 30 minutes a day, or get a checkup to catch high cholesterol early. These aren't hard, but they pack a punch, like wiping a pipe clean before it's fully clogged.
Challenge yourself. This week, what one habit will you tweak to shield your arteries? Maybe ditch a fast food meal or add a walk. Leave your answer in the comments. I want to see you commit. And trust me, these shifts don't just save down there. They save your whole life. We've tracked this guy's long haul, from harmless fatty streaks to an artery blowout. And now he's at a crossroads. Lean on pills or fix it from the ground up. I told him Viagra and testosterone aren't the key. They're like duct tape on a leaking pipe. Covers it up, but doesn't fix it. The real trouble's in his clogged arteries and crumbling overall health. So what's the answer? Nothing fancy or pricey. Just changes you can kick off today.
Think of your body as a machine. Arteries are the fuel lines, and that fuel needs proper handling. A big player here isn't testosterone. It's insulin, the hormone balancing blood sugar and fat. When insulin's off, it traps cholesterol in your arteries, widens your waist, and jacks up blood pressure. How do you spot insulin trouble? 5 clear signs: high triglycerides, low HDL, shaky blood pressure, a bigger than healthy waist, and rising blood sugar. If you tick a few boxes, don't panic. It's your cue to move. Why focus on insulin? Because it's not just about down there, it's the commander, blocking heart attacks and strokes. How do you get insulin back on track? Start at the table, cut sugar, ease off white carbs like rice or bread, swap in whole grains or sweet potatoes. Plus, moving is a free pill. Just 20 minutes of brisk walking daily helps your body clear fat. Sleeping 7 to 8 hours matters too. Skimping throws insulin into chaos. These sound basic, but they hit hard. Arteries open up, blood flows strong, and mojo returns naturally. Ready to try? Pick one small shift today, like skipping a sugary tea, and share how it feels in the comments.
We've seen this man's tale isn't just a bedroom glitch. It's a wake-up call for total health. Clogged arteries don't just steal your edge. They threaten your life, with heart attacks and strokes lurking if you sit still. But here's the good news. You can rewrite the ending. No need to wait for an artery pimple to burst. You can clean them up starting now with the simple steps I've shared. Eat smart, move steady, sleep solid. Don't let your body scream for help like his did. Ask yourself, do you want to steer your health or let it steer you? Every choice today, what you eat, what you do, builds your tomorrow. Don't wait. If this video clicked for you, hit like to back me up, share it to wake up your loved ones, and subscribe so you don't miss more real fixes. Most of all, comment, what will you change today to guard your arteries? I'll read every one and cheer you on. Last thing, if you want to unclog your arteries and dodge a bigger disaster, don't skip the next video. I'll break it down further. Act today. Your health's worth more than any pill. Together, we'll turn your body into the strongest machine out there. Agree? See you in the next one.